check in with the poor man's Greg Gutfeld, George Clooney. Remember, he wrote a scathing op-ed prior to the election calling on Joe Biden to drop out? And this week, he took to CNN, the only place he's seen less than in his own movies, to gloat. God, I hope Jake Tapper doesn't plant his lips firmly on George's puckered ass and tell him he did something that a lot of people call brave when he wrote his op-ed.
You yourself did something that a lot of people would call brave when you wrote your op-ed.
Well, I don't know if it was brave. It was a civic duty. When I saw people on my side of the street not telling the truth, I thought that was time to...
Are people still mad at you for that?
Some people, sure.
Now, before returning to his exhibit at Madame Tussauds, Clooney opined on the future of the party. I bet there's one person in particular he thinks is spectacular.
There's one person in particular I think is spectacular. There are a few who I think is levitating above that is Wes Moore. I like him a lot. I think he could be someone we could all join in behind. We have to find somebody rather soon. It's our job now to put together a proper team to stand up because we're right now polling very poorly.
I love that. Levitating above, as opposed to sinking to the bottom, like his last movie. Kennedy, I came up with a slogan for Clooney's favorite candidate. Wes is more. I just did that now. This is why I'm on TV.
Yeah.
People don't understand what's going on in here, Kennedy. Wes is more.
It must be so difficult to be that smart and that handsome.
I wish I could turn off my brain sometimes, or at least share it with other people.
And then just stare at your torso in the mirror.
Oh, I can't. I would go blind.
I've been imagining the tank top for the last 2 minutes.
And it's a half-C.
Oh, God. Even better.
It's not even Fleet Week, and New York City has already gotten so gay.
Where are we, Kennedy?
This is fun. Yes, I think. Yeah. Oh my God, I have two good Clooney stories. One, at the 1996 Video Music Awards, after the show, I was in a gorgeous, couture Carolina Herrera, floor-length, pink silk gown with little white gloves, and I was doing, segments after the VMAs, and one of the producers goes, "George Clooney is standing right there," and he was staring, and so I was like, "Hey, what's up?" And he was like, "Hello." He's like, "I've always wanted to meet you. I just wanted to come over and say hi." And I was like, "Hi!" And I was dating someone at the time, so I didn't want to pursue it. And then he floated off backward into the night and maintained eye contact. So for that reason, I'm going to vote for him.
What's the second story?
He hosted Confessions of a Dangerous Mind.
Yes.
Which was about Chuck Barris, who was the Gong Show host and claimed to be a CIA operative.
Yeah.
And no one really knows if it's true, but I really hope it was true. So George Clooney directed that movie, and because I was a game show host at Game Show Network at the time, we all got to go. And so I stood behind George Clooney and held his left butt cheek for about 30 seconds. And he didn't clinch and he didn't flinch, which I felt was very impressive. And then he looked back at me knowingly and just went, yeah.
Yeah.
You've always wanted to do
Who was the guy you were dating, and do you remember him? The guy you were dating so that you couldn't pursue?
Yeah, it was my baby daddy, who I was with for 20 years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That was Chuck Barris. Okay.
Yes. I thought it was Chuck Barris. I didn't even ask you what you thought of this.
Okay, so but I'll tell you very quickly about Clooney.
Yes.
If he knew the shape Joe Biden was in, he is a complete fraud for not coming forward sooner and canceling the fundraiser, to Loftus's point, so his friends didn't fork over tens of millions of dollars.
Yeah.
If he didn't know, he has no business trying to lead the Democrat Party from afar because he is not a true insider. And I think the reason he's not backing Josh Shapiro, who is the Pennsylvania governor, who is very popular, his wife is not.
It's up next, a Democrat wines and dines and illegal. That was fun. She knows everybody. Kevin asks, Michael, if you could be invisible for a day, what would you do? I almost want to ask you a different question.
Okay.
Unless you have one now for invisible.
No, ask a different question. I mean, I have one, but it's stupid. So
Okay.
Yeah.
What would have happened if you weren't attached at the time? And Clooney would.
Ooh, let's be
How
invisible.
would your life change?
Ooh, that's a great question because at the time I was 23, so probably really fertile. But I was also still
A virgin? You're still a virgin?
Am I still now?
No, I said you were still
No,
a virgin.
I have pooped out 2 kids.
No, but I mean, you
they
were-
got in there somehow, and it
So
wasn't
that would
by
have
the
been a
Holy
big
Spirit.
selling point to Clooney.
Yeah.
Like you were a virgin.
Yeah, he probably had like a teen kink, and I was just legal enough, so
Wow.
he probably would have seduced me and taken me to his suite at the plaza,
Yeah.
and we would have played Home Alone with all the ice cream sundaes and my hoo-ha.
Would you?
And she'd never wear a white dress again.
Do you think it would have lasted?
Nope,
No.
I do not.
Not at all. So I'm glad you didn't then. I'm glad you were, because if
But now I wish I was invisible so I could tickle his butt cheek anytime I wanted.
It looks like I'm a wreck. It's in the hole!
Who's a sexy baby?